Good
Oh,
evening and welcome to the Don't Believe the Hype show. I'm Valerie Kelso, the founder and CEO of the show, and today we have got another special, awesome, phenomenal woman on our show. Her name is Joy Alman. I hope I pronounced your name right. Please tell me yes.
yes, Joy Alleman. Yes,
And
thank you.
finally, I got a name right, Joy. Usually I butcher people's name. So I am so glad that you was able to come onto our show today. And Joy's going to tell you about her journey. I met Joy in 2016,
That's about right. Yes.
2016 at the Swan program that she used to have. And Joy, you're going to tell them a little bit about Swan and what it's all about. I know you probably don't do much of it now because you've gone out and you new states, but that's okay because I just want the readers and the viewers to understand how we met and
Mhm.
we've come full circle that you're on our show today. Joy is also an author of a beautiful book called Finding Joy. Isn't that a beautiful name? Finding Joy. And that's part of her name, Joy. So Miss Joy is going to tell us a little bit about herself. I usually don't read people's bio. I can if you want me to, but I think coming from you, the audience needs to know who is Joy.
Well, yes, and thank you, Valerie. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure knowing you. From the time I've met you, you just have a great rapport, and I just appreciate this opportunity to share. And I'm Joy, and I help women create the life they desire and deserve after coming through domestic violence, abuse, and trauma. I had formerly had an organization called Swan that made a transition. We were housing women that, came out of abuse because I found that a lot of the women were hopeless, they wanted to leave, but there was nowhere to go. The shelters were full. So that was a need that I felt like, that I could help ease some of that burden off of women who were leaving and in transition, meaning immediate transition, meaning you get a call and they need to go right now. So that was a gap that I tried to fill. And since then, now we do referrals and we've developed a relationship with some other organizations. So I don't have to do the live-in part, but I do refer women. And we've branched out now into coaching women after they've left abuse, because that's something that's so important. You can make that step forward, but you need something to stabilize you once you've left, because you're going to be hit with, things that you hadn't thought about before, unknown circumstances, and just life, period. So you need someone to help you navigate through those things, and even the emotions that you have after leaving. So it's more to getting out of a situation than just physically leaving. So that's my role, is to help that transition, so it's sustainable.
Because that's what a lot of people don't realize when a woman's gone through trauma.
Yes,
Leaving is the hardest part. But once that woman's made up her mind, she's made up her mind, she's had enough.
yes,
Even though she might have had enough, she still wants to go back because that's all she knows.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you so now that you decided to go into coaching women, where do
Mhm.
you find these women that you are now coaching?
You said, where do I find them?
Yes, where is it like through the or your another organization?
Yes, a lot of them I have already worked with in the past, either
Okay.
in ministry or, um, you know, coming out of abuse. So I pretty much already have a relationship with these women, Valerie, and it's pretty much what I've done all my adult life and didn't realize that I was doing. But so many people had told me, you're easy to talk to, you understand, you're relatable. And I said, well, I'm just being me. So I decided to take it a step further and really help and nurture these women, because I've been on that journey, that long journey of finding joy, that joy that's sustainable. And I just want, my heart and passion is for other women to realize you really can live the life that you desire and deserve. You really can, but you have to put in the work. You have to do the hard work. You have to make the hard decisions. And sometimes you're going to have some lonely nights, and your circle of influence or circle of friends may decrease, but that's okay, because you're getting to know you. And we don't spend enough time with ourselves to know what we like. You've always been told what you like and what to wear, where to go, who to befriend. But now, once you've come out of these adversities, it's time to discover who you really are at your core.
Because I was like that when I came out of mine. I knew who I was when I was back in England, and then when I came out of mine after spending 6 long years in it, it was like, who is Valerie? Who am
Yeah.
I? And it took me at least 4 years to really find myself. And I couldn't just jump into a relationship, because there was so much trigger and so much pain attached to
Yes.
gone through. But like today, I can honestly say I know who Valerie is, and if I don't like something, Valerie's it. I don't know if you like that as well, because when you're in that kind of relationship, you kind of lose your voice. It's not just losing your joy, you also lose your voice.
You do. Absolutely. Yeah. And you learn, and through that process, you also learn how to set boundaries. And I am so proud of some of the women that I've worked with now, because they're able to say no, and no is a complete sentence. It needs no explanation. And they're setting boundaries, healthy boundaries for themselves and for their children, because we forget sometimes that your children are watching you, and they're learning behavior that you really don't want them to continue into their adult lives. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do in setting boundaries, loving ourselves, self-care, getting massages.
And for me, what I find is we do a lot, and I know my organization is mainly predominantly for women and young girls because
Yes.
of abuse. But when a woman has got a boy child and he's seeing that learned behavior, he then becomes an abuser on top of, because that's what he knows. Because sometimes we as parents, we tend to want to hide and not let our children know what's really going on, but those children know what's going on.
They know.
And that boy child sometimes will turn around and disrespect the woman because that's what he sees his daddy is doing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we do forget sometimes these guys also need, as a parent who's gone through an abuse. I had a daughter, like with when it comes to a boy, that you have got to teach that boy what daddy's doing is wrong, and sometimes you have to step away rather than sit in it and let that child see all that abuse and thinking it's acceptable. It's the norm.
Right.
That argument is it's a norm.
That's the time you have to have those hard conversations, because when they grow up, they remember. Even as they're growing up, you think they forget and they're too young to know what's going on, but they know. They really do. I know in my own case, my daughter, I remember, and I share this story often, she was 4 when I divorced one of my abusers. And I'll never forget the look in her eyes, because I was in so much pain, and it was just a terrible situation. And she said, "Mama, it's going to be okay." The innocence of her voice gave me the will to fight, because I said, if she believes it's going to be okay, I have got to fight to get out of this. Yeah. So she knew exactly what was going on. Yeah.
So, and for me, a lot of us tend to forget there's children involved.
Yes.
Because we and the husband, or the boyfriend, or that woman, there's children actually involved. And we are creating monsters when we continue sitting in that domestic violence or that abusive relationship. Because a lot of people only believe domestic violence is physical. And that's why I would really love for them to change the name from violence, abuse, because so it
Right.
covers everything. Because you know, I mean, if you haven't slapped me, you call me a derogatory name, that is still abuse.
It's still abuse. You have verbal abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, abuse, you
That's
know,
right.
different forms. So we have a hard battle ahead of us, but we're in the trenches, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, because it's so rewarding when that light bulb goes off with a woman and she decides this is enough, you know. I've had enough and I'm ready to make the change, because I deserve it.
So where does your passion come for advocacy for women?
You know what, Valerie? I wanted to be and become what I didn't have when I went through my situations, my abusive situations, because back then, I'm dating myself, there really wasn't anywhere to go. There really wasn't any help. There wasn't any family member that was willing to listen. And the school of thought then was, you know, marriage was forever. Relationship was, you know, my family didn't believe in divorce. That was a no-no. So if I had had someone maybe to confide in, and someone who, you know, had compassion, you know, maybe I would have made some different choices. So it's always good to be a listening ear for someone,
That's,
you know.
and you're so right, because I'm 58. I ain't ashamed to tell nobody my age.
Hmm.
I look good.
You look good, girl.
Right? But my abuse started when I was from 15 years old.
Hmm.
I had my daughter at 16. So you can imagine that's a long time to be
That's a long time.
well, it's not even a long time, knowing that it started so young. And
Hmm.
like you say, I thought I had to stay with my boyfriend because I wasn't married at the time. I
Yeah.
thought because my parents were together. No one ever told us if a man do anything to you, come and tell us. Or
Right.
if you're being beaten by your boyfriend, get out of that relationship, because in those days it was like, hush, what stays in the house.
What goes on in the house stays in the house. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. And now
Yes.
women are starting to talk and tell the story and share what they've
Mhm.
gone through, because abuse has, to me, has not got no color, no race, no gender. It's got
It
nothing.
does not. It does
You
not.
know what I mean? I even saw a lady coming not too long back, and she was telling me that the boyfriend told her how she looked fat and how she looked horrible. And when you look at this woman was beautiful, but
Wow.
went to that surgery because of that belief from
Mm-hmm.
of what she was being fed. She was being fed. So it's got no color. Yes, you might think, oh, it's only in the black society.
No.
Because you'd be surprised to know how many people I hear
Yes.
stories from, and they're not
Yes.
even my color. I,
Hmm.
I do all races in this place. All races.
Absolutely. Yes. And once we get out of our bubble thinking it's just us, we see that there are communities of women online, offline, that are coming together, sharing their stories and helping each other heal. Because another passion, I think about how long it took for me to heal. Because first I had to accept what had happened, you know, because I was like, oh no, oh, not me. Oh no, I didn't go through all of it. I was in denial. But here I am now, full circle, realizing the abuse started very young. And some of it was acceptable then, but not now, you know, because Valerie, and I know you know this, domestic violence is just deadly now. And it's just heartbreaking, the posts that we see day in and day out. And sometimes we have to step away just for our own mental health, because you get
Right.
triggered when you see all of that. You get triggered, you know. So I feel like it's my obligation to show other women the way that I came out. And my faith is a huge, huge part
I was
of
going to
why
ask you about your faith.
yeah,
My
is why
faith.
I'm still here, you know, because I say the Father's track record is good with me. And I have depended on him, and my prayer life grew because of the adversity that I went through. So faith is at the top of the list in your toolbox.
All the time. That's
Yeah,
why, for me, when I talk to God, I talk to God like he's sitting right here beside me, and me and him,
yes,
I'm telling you, sometimes me and him, we get into it because he's telling me one thing and I don't want to listen, and you know what I mean, but I have
right,
to listen because I know he's always going to be right. So I always say, Lord, if it's your will, let it be done, and if
yes,
I'll live with it. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. That's why I can say I'm still here at Purple Light Touch because I listen to his voice every single day.
right,
And I was talking to a lady yesterday and she says, I want to be like you. I want to be able to can talk to God, not just at night, not just in the morning. I want to be able
yes,
to can talk to God throughout the day. I said, it's easy. Just start.
right,
Just
right.
start. Once you start, everything else will flow.
Yeah, and you get closer as you go
Mhm.
through things, you just get closer and closer to him. He becomes your everything, you
Because
know. Yeah, and he guides and directs you, and it's all good.
Vivian truly is. And I know we was talking the other day that, and you was telling me you moved out of, you're no longer in Texas, you've gone to another state. And
Yes.
tell me a little bit about how that, what made you decide to do that?
I didn't decide, it just happened. It really did. I was on this, I'll say, a journey. I was really at a place where I didn't know where to turn in my life. I just really didn't. So I just took about a year and just really start listening to the voice of God and listening to the things he put in my heart to do to help women. And then I decided to trust him. I said, you know what, this doesn't feel good. It's not what I desire to do. But if you open the door for me to walk through it, then I'm going to walk through it. And the door flew open. I mean, Valerie, it flew open. You know, years ago, I heard a message preached, and it was called A Place Called There. And in that place called There, all the provision that you could need was there. The problem was you had to get there. You
Yes.
had to push back your self-will and your pride and all of that. And I tell you, it was one of the hardest years of my life, but I was determined. I tell people the faith is what got me here. So yes, now I'm in Arizona. How long I'll be here, I have no idea, but my purpose and mission is still being fulfilled here. I haven't left it. In fact, it's grown in many ways.
Mhm.
So like we were saying, once you find that passion and you embrace it and you embrace who you are, you realize what you have to give is it's not just for you. You know, it's so much bigger than us. It's so much bigger. And so that's how I ended up in Arizona. And I have no idea how long, but I know that every need is met and I'm at peace and I'm content and I'm working harder than I have in years as far as in my advocacy work.
I'm
Yes.
laughing because when I mean, back in England, I had everything. I didn't want for nothing, I'll be honest with you. Private
Yeah.
car, private number plate, jacuzzi, steam room, I had it all. And I've just remodeled my house from top to bottom. And when God said it was time
Oh,
to go,
wow.
it was time to go. And when I came over here, it was like people thought I'd gone off my head. Why would I walk away from something
Right.
when I've got everything that I want to come from
Hmm.
comfortable at home to
Yeah.
uncomfortable situation? And you know, yes, it was uncomfortable, but God has allowed purple
Hmm.
language to grow. This is what God,
Yes.
this is not my why, this is God's why. This is
Right.
why I told you to leave everything because I've got work for you to do here in Texas.
Yes.
I've got
You
work
know what I
for you.
call that, Valerie? I call that destiny calling you. And that's how I feel. It's a call, it's a deep call.
That's
And
right.
it's destiny. It's like you need to fulfill that destiny that he put in you. And that's to serve and help other women. And in serving women, you know, we're helping all of humanity. We're helping the children, we're helping men, we're helping families,
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
we're breaking generational curses, we're making a change. That's how I feel. It does not have to be the end of because you've been through abuse, trauma, depression, whatever. It does not have to be the end all. You can regain your power and control. You can.
And all you women, that's right, and all you women out there that's going through something right now, trust me, it might seem like you're going through a storm, but remember, every storm always comes to an end.
Yes.
And you can end your storm at any time. You just got to take that leap of faith.
Yes.
I took it and I left England and came over here. I was
Mhm.
not in a good relationship while I was here, and I had to walk out of that one again. But look at where I am today. But imagine if I hadn't taken that one step, if I hadn't believed, had my faith, and if I hadn't trusted in God, I wouldn't be where I am today.
And we would have never met.
Unless
We
God
wouldn't be having this conversation.
who
Yeah.
in the world would have thought you'd be talking to somebody from England?
Yeah. No.
You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? And that's
Yeah.
God.
It is. And you have peace about it. I don't care how hard the struggle is, you have peace.
I
Yeah.
do now, and trust me, I feel so blessed. And the people that I see come through the door, it's like it's so overwhelming that really God,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And later on I'm going to be typing a story of something that happened to me with this lady, because I'm telling you, everything that I do, everybody that comes through this door, I know God set them.
Yes.
I know wholeheartedly God has sent each and every person that
Mhm.
has come through this door. And
Yes.
all of them, you know, I mean, could come out of here and have a testimony of whether it came from the massage or whether it came from something that I said, or
Right.
walking around and seeing a place like this.
Yes.
There's always going to be some testimony
Yes.
coming out.
And
And
it was,
so
yes, and it was created just for them. I mean, Purple Light Touch was created in a vision, and it was created for these women and children and others. Yeah, it's very special. Yeah, I think I shared with you. I remember the massage you gave me. Yeah, and I needed it. I didn't even know I needed it. I was so busy working and serving everyone else, and then when those hands touched, I was just like, oh my God, I needed that. It wasn't a want, it was a need.
that's right. And that's why I
Mhm.
always go back to Psalms 23 when I tell my clients, when I say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Yes.
David didn't want to go and get a massage. God had to lay down beside still waters to restore his
Right.
mind, his body, and his soul.
And the
And
soul.
that is what a massage is meant to do. It's supposed to restore the complete body back to
Mhm.
how God would like it to be. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so I always tell people, this is not a luxury, this is a necessity.
It is.
This is a commandment from God, because God was the one that did the first massage. So me touching you, or my clients, or anyone,
Mhm.
God set them because He knows that
They
they
need
need
it. Yeah.
that rest period. All of us need a rest period. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? So there was another thing that I wanted to ask you, Miss Joy. You got a vision that you're working on right now, and I told you congratulations yesterday because you did put it out there on Facebook. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your new venture that God is.
Yes, I am very excited about it. I'm officially launching my coaching business, and it's called My Restored Joy. And it's just because I'm in that place called there, I can now see what all that entails. So I'll be doing one-on-one coaching and group coaching, and I am working on my next book, The Layers of Joy. So I'm just excited because the difference this time is that I have this inner peace about what I'm doing. I'm not unsure because I was trying to find my way in helping with women. I knew I wanted to do it, but now I'm solid in what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, I'm very solid. The experience that I've had in working with them and working in the court system and testifying before judges about abused women, I know that this is where I need to be. I need to stay right in my lane because it makes a difference. Yeah. And there was a pivotal point I wanted to be sure and share this with whoever may be listening. You're not alone. You may feel alone. I don't care how hard and dark it gets. I remember the time that I was called to testify for a young lady who had fatally wounded her abuser. And what the judge asked me to do was to explain the mindset of a woman who was abused.
Wow.
And that touched me so deeply. and I was able to share with the people. It didn't get her a lighter sentence or anything like that, but it was validating that these women are real. They have feelings, they're going through things, and they need someone who understands what they're going through. And I feel like in some instances, that's what I'm sent to do, is shed light on, you know, the reality of abuse. You know, it's deadly, and it doesn't have to be if we step in and help get laws changed and work with women and build up that self-esteem and their self-worth, so they don't have to resort to stabbing somebody to death. You know, it's a real thing with me. My heart was forever ever changed.
So can you share a few lines of the life of a woman that's been abused?
A shoot.
So, because there might be somebody who think, am I in abusive relationship? You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody know that they're in a life of abuse because they don't know.
Right. Yes. Whatever makes you feel uncomfortable and unsafe, that's abuse. If you're around someone and you're always being belittled, you're not free to voice your opinion. Your opinion doesn't even matter. Then you're in an abusive relationship, and it can escalate. It doesn't always start out as a slap or a punch, or it starts in being belittled and devalued and not being heard. Your voice doesn't matter. Then you have to look at that relationship and say, where am I in all of this? No one continues to do a thing unless they're getting something in return for it. So you have to ask yourself, what am I getting in return for this behavior? Why am I allowing this? So you have to get around women that have been through what you've been through, or either going through it, and have that community and find your voice, share, talk about it. If you're being silent, this is something I always say is fear cripples and silence kills. Wow. Meaning fear cripples you from moving forward, or even exploring that you could have a better life. And your silence is deadly. Silence will kill you if you don't speak up, because that thing will grow and grow and grow and grow. It'll kill your dreams and your desires, your future. It will just kill. And eventually, it could be fatal for your life.
That's right.
That's how I feel. Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you shared all that, because like I said, a lot of women only believe it's abuse is when they actually get slapped, you know what I mean, or is done something physical. They don't realize that there's spiritual, there's financial, there's emotional abuse. There's so many different.
So many. Mm-hmm.
It's an umbrella, basically. It's an umbrella.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm glad that so any viewers out there that feel that, oh, well, I wasn't being abused, you just heard what Joy said about being abused, and what form abuse can you can abuse and takes a form of. So do not sit in it, because you do not need to sit in any form of abuse whatsoever. Right. There is always going to be a door. There is always an option.
Yes.
Joy, I really, is there a phone number or a website that people can reach you on?
Yes, the best way to reach me is through Facebook. I have several pages, but one that I'm building now is called Joy Alleman Speaks, and they can join me there. I have a support group called Purple Reflections, and they can find us on Facebook as well. And I'm on Instagram, and my Instagram has been changed to My Joy Restored.
Okay. Now got TikTok?
Not yet.
Not yet. Getting a TikTok. Miss Joy, I'm going to ask you a question. What does Don't Believe the Hype show mean to you?
Oh, it's a space where you can just be yourself.
Sorry, what does Don't Believe the Hype mean to you?
Oh, don't believe
Yes.
Don't believe what others have put on you. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe um, who people say you are. That's the hype. Who are you for real? Who are you at your core? You know, that's what don't believe the hype. Because sometimes we can even have in our minds that we're a certain way, or we're this or that, or we're not this or not that. And that's hype. Don't believe the hype. Let's get to the real you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I tell people all the time, look, Facebook can hide a multitude of sin.
Oh,
You can get up, you can look good, you can look pretty, take a picture, and the next thing you're deep down inside, you're crying, you're depressed, you're lonely, you're suicidal.
that's right.
But nobody will never know because you can put on a bit of makeup, take off that makeup and show the real you.
Yes.
Show the world who you really are as a person.
Yeah.
Show that vulnerability because many of us hide behind our abuse, our hurts,
Yes.
which is that's going on inside of us. So when someone turn around and say, "Oh, so and so was abused," I think, "Hey, the woman that looks good all the time." Yes, that same woman that you saw looking good all the time. Yes, she was in an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Talk, let people know.
Yes.
Let people know. One of my ladies said to me, "For how many years I hid the fact I was being abused." And now that I've come out and told people they want to know all the details of my abuse, and I told her, let them know.
Yes,
If you
please.
hid it,
Yes.
no one's not going to believe. And you know, one thing I always realize that when it comes to abuse, and if a woman says the man abused her, they always want to say, well, what did you do?
Oh, oh, now that's a whole nother show.
You know,
That's a whole nother show. Yeah. What did you do to him? What did you do to cause him to do that?
and if you even if he kicked you or did something and you talk to him a little bit aggressive, they will to them you was always you like
Right.
you're the aggressor, not the guy, because
Right.
he knows how to play the game.
Yes. And the question should be, why does he abuse? Not why, what did you do? Why did he
Right.
put his hands on you? That's the question.
But
Mhm.
that's the only thing I find when it comes to domestic violence.
Mhm.
It's hard for that woman to turn around and say, well, this is what really happened. And she said, my family wants to know the ins and outs of everything. And I said, then you need to tell them.
Yes.
And she said, but it might be too hard for them. But was it not hard on you when you was being abused? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Stories after stories of abuse stories that I've heard. And I thank God I'm able to go into that restroom once I've done my massage, wash
Yes.
my hands, and I can wash away
Right.
whatever it is that was told to me.
Right.
Because I know I've got somebody else who's going to be offloading.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it was just a little quick thing I just wanted to share at the end of our program. Please, if you are being abused, and I'm going to keep saying it, call 911. There's also a domestic violence hotline you can call.
Yes.
Right? There's loads of things that you can do. And
Mm-hmm.
if anybody wants to donate, do you take donations for your
Yes. Yes. They can do donations, but for those watching this, it'd be better for them to donate to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody who
The
would like to donate
cause.
to the Purple Light Touch Foundation,
Yes.
we have still got the Giving Day special that we had. We didn't really actually go through the Giving Day. We had our own giving in the house. And you can go straight to our website, which is purplelightouchfoundation.org. You can send us a check. You can send money order. You can send us, however you want to send your money, you can send it. You
Yes.
can do cash up at $, Purple Light Touch 2015. Every bit that we get into this organization will go back out to help a woman or a young girl. On the 18th of December, we are going to be doing a drive where we are going out into to feed, not to feed the homeless, to do care package for the homeless. So far, we've collected about 25 care packages from people who have been coming in and donating care packages. We're accepting like small deodorant, soap, anything that they need to do to clean their body. We are accepting clothes, but please, if you're going to send your clothes in, make sure they are looking good and it would be something that you will be proud to give somebody else, not because somebody's homeless. We feel we're going to give them our leftovers because at the end of the day, they are somebody as well. And then what they do all have a family, but it's just circumstances. Not everybody's there because of drugs or
That's right.
alcohol. A lot of people are down there because of circumstances. There might have been a sickness, there might have been a death in the family, they might have had to go through the pandemic, they might have been depressed. You don't know why they're down there, but not because they're there, we're going to judge them because we never know when we're going to be down in that situation. Because I was homeless, I could have been one of them down there as well. So, anybody want to donate to Purple Light Trust Foundation? Everything that you do, we will gladly appreciate it. And Christmas is coming up in a couple of weeks. We are also going to be helping one family with clothes, toys, food for Christmas Day. And if we do get enough donations and sponsors, we would like to be able to keep that one family and sponsor that one family till the end of next year. So that's what we do here at Purple Light Church Foundation. We offer mentoring, we offer computer classes, t-shirt design. We also offer um, therapeutic massages. We do a lot. They can come in here and pray. They can help us. We offer those who have gone through the court system. If they need volunteer hours, you can come in here and do your volunteer hours. So we do offer a wide range of things for the youth and young girls in the community. Right now, we are working with 2 young girls doing volunteer hours for their school. So just come by. We are at 5757 Route Slow Drive, Suite B, North Richland Hills. And if you need someone to talk to, or you just want to have a safe place to come to, give us a call on 817-350-0444. Thank you. And Ms. Joy, it was such a pleasure having you on here and explain
Likewise.
about your new program, You Finding Joy.
Yes.
Everything else. God is going to open up so many doors for you, right?
Yes.
You haven't even seen the half of what God has got in store for you, so get ready.
Thank you
Right?
so much.
You're not going to be on a bumpy ride because trust me, God is going to make sure that ride is where you
Thank
need
you,
to be.
Valerie.
You
Thank
know,
you so much.
you're welcome. And just keep pressing on because God has got you. He's got you on a journey
Yes, he does. And I trust him. Yes.
all the time. It's about faith. All right. So thank you and have a wonderful and blessed evening. And everyone out there, thank you for tuning in to our Don't Believe the Hype show. Next week, I'm hoping to have a very, very special guest, but I'm going to keep it under my hat for the time being. But I can't wait. Trust me, I can't wait. That is good. So, bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Joy.
Bye-bye.